Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Today, I decided to talk about children. I'm focusing on the homeless issue and older adult mental health. So I decided today I'm going to launch a discussion about children's emotional disorder in relating to their development and also when they get into the juvenile justice system, how to prevent and help the children to how to be independent and the normal individual. So let's get it started with the children with emotional disorder in the juvenile justice system. So when we talk about that, we can thinking about talking about children, adolescents or teenager, everybody below 18, 17, we can teenager, adolescent, and the children we kind of define them between 10 to 13 to 14. So today's focus will be how to improve their well-being when they get into the jail and how those mental health tools be able to help them to access more information. So those are the things that we are focusing on today. So let's get it started today. So the key point, there are some of the key points that we need to talk about. First, we want to talk about is how the Mental Health Association plays a high priority on taking care of the children in the behavior program. Actually, MHA already spending a lot of budget during the last year trying to improve the quality of life of those teenager or young children, young adult, they get into the juvenile system because when they went to the system, it's gonna be very complicated because we're gonna see a lot of different issues coming in, and you're gonna mingle with different type of groups. So in that sense, the mental health and their well-being become a very important issue to talk about. So let's jump into the second. Then we have to focus on their emotional, and then if they do have some kind of substance abuse issue, that will be something that we focus on as well. That's why the integrating system, integrating community support be a very important tool to use when they get inside. And then not talk about how to exclusively manage their mental health, but we also need to make sure we need to kind of diagnose them before we make sure that their mental health is okay. And even though they have some kind of mental health issue, when they get into the jail, we also need to make sure that their mental health issue will not get more severe when they get out from the jail. So those are the and that's why the integration with the community, with the government, and with the jails and the juvenile system become a very important issue. And then we can talk about mental health and the substance use treatment service. Those things can also prevent children from either they want to accept the treatment or not because they are still in a developmental stage. And then there will be a lot of resistance. Even they are incarcerated inside the jail, right? They get incarcerated inside the jail. They will have a lot of resistance. They may not want to compromise, and or they may want to accept the treatment because there's just a tons of issue that we need to address first, right? So I would suggest clinician to make certain type of appointment with the children, or prior they went to the jail, they need to do some kind of mental status exam to find out what kind of program be more creating for the child. And then let's go to the next point. And it is intensive work with the family at an early stage actually improve child's behavior. So this is very obvious, right? So once if they those children, when you do the evaluation, you see they have some kind of intensive work with their family, which means that the family took good care of them and educating them how to make a good progress. Then usually their problem can be less, and then they will have kind of positive emotional development. So let's go back to the research that I actually found out on the article. So basically, it says that 65 to 70% of children in the juvenile system has been diagnosed with mental health symptoms. So that can come to very shocking point, but it's actually really real. It's not surreal. It's actually happening. A lot of children, at least 65% to 70% of the children, they does have mental health issue prior they went to the juvenile and involved with the justice system. And at least 65% of the youth in the juvenile justice system experiences, that's when they are not properly treated, or they do went through kind of peer pressure, have argument or disagreement with the other juvenile member, jail children, or not adult children, teenager inside the jail. They may experiences, let's say, 75% experiences traumatic victimization, and even 93% they has been abused by the other children or other teenager inside the jail. So that's why this become a very critical things that we need to kind of address to the different label inside the jail. This is gonna be a reorganization how the juvenile system, how they promoting, you know, those healthy mental health training in order to help those children to have a better and a positive emotional development. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. So we discussed all those key points and how important is prior when the children or teenager get into the jail, and how we're gonna prevent them to develop prevent them to develop the worst mental health symptom if they already had pre-exist mental health issue. So let's talk about effective steps. So there are certain steps that they can use prior to before I was talking about they can access to community basis information. Integrating the service become a very important aspect of the of this this system, this issue. And also the children, when they become incarcerated, we have to make sure that their mental health still in best condition, because they may develop some kind of integrating action, they may develop some kind of mental health symptoms, they may have some type of mental health condition. That's why the clinician have to do a lot of scanning before they allow the client to get in. And then uh, let's talk about, well, the trauma informed mental health service. That's something, the topic that we can talk about in the future is a big subject. But trauma informed mental health services is important too, because we have to make sure if there's a certain children does have developmental issue, plus the mental health issue, then they need to be address those. So that's pretty much cover a lot of things. Let's continue to talk about how we gonna implementing those strategy, right? Those are the things that we talk about, how to implementing those strategy. So first of all, how we gonna improve their health? Whatever possible, the children with mental health condition should use certain kind of evidence-based mental health treatment in the community setting. That's something that obviously they need to be focusing on. And also, let's go back to also, we need to collect a lot of information. We need to conduct a lot of statistic information in order to do the mental health screen for the children, and then we will not be jeopardize their chance of reduce the mental health symptoms. So those are kind of important that we can address, and definitely less restrict environment, and plus they can access to the evidence-based treatment. So those are the things I think will be more effective and help those juvenile those teenager when they went to the jail, they can come out with a clean slate, right? So those are the things we can kind of address. And then last thing we can kind of talk about how to give them more opportunity when they get out. So when they get out from the jail, we need to kind of help those youth to have opportunity to create a lasting impact in their own community. Means that we need to give them a chance to uh, help them to get involved with the community. And we also need to provide some kind of emotional safety for those children, teenager, and then also the opportunity for them to and foster their ability, improve their ability, and make sure that their ability will be able to use the society. And then we also need to help them to explore their idea and help them to um, their creative skill because in that way they can fully develop to be a better citizen. So that's it for today's tube. If you do have any question and comment, feel free to leave any comment below, and then you can message me. You can leave any suggestion. I will be glad to answer those questions. So thank you so much, and I hope have a good day. Bye bye now.